everyone. My name is Dilfuza Yuldasheva, and I work for Eberswalde University for Sustainable Development. Some of you might have noticed from my name that I come from Central Asia, and indeed, I'm actually very happy to be working in Vegera project, which is a project implemented in my home country, Uzbekistan. So our last video, you learned about climate change and its impacts on a global level from Martin. And today we're going to zoom into Central Asia and Uzbekistan and first learn about climatic conditions in this region and then talk about climate change. So you might have asked, okay, why do we need to learn about climate change or climatic conditions of the region when the Vegera is focusing on sustainable building? So some of you might know that if you want to build a house, you really need to take into account the climatic conditions of the area where you're building. And secondly, this is a sustainable house, meaning that because of climate change, there is a necessity to build these types of houses. And we would like to stress that and show what are these reasons. To start with, Central Asia has an arid climate with hot summers and cold winters and strong winds, and it depends on two transboundary rivers, Sirdarya and Amudarya, for its water resources. And it's also similar to Uzbekistan as well, with the continental climate, hot summers and cold winters and strong winds. And precipitation is also very low. So on a country level, it's 200 millimeters. And in some of the dry areas, it is as little as 80 millimeters annually. And the most of the landscape is covered by desert and semi-deserts, which accounts for 80% of the land, roughly. So now we can move to the climate change impacts in Central Asia. So if we look at climate change in Central Asia, the most important thing that we have to mention is this region is very vulnerable, most vulnerable regions in the world, unfortunately, due to the water scarcity. We know that since 1960s, ice caps have been melting, so we are losing their mass. At the same time, this area is not very well researched when it comes to climate change. And if we zoom into Uzbekistan and the impacts of climate change, that there will be more desertification, the extreme weather events will get worse, and there will be more water crisis than today, which is going to affect the livelihood of people in a very negative way. So I would like you to do a couple of things, kind of a homework. So the first thing, think about the person that you know, elderly. It can be your grandparents, parents, and talk to them and ask their experience about the climate during that time. So how was winters, how hot were the summers, and learn what they experienced. So think about how the weather was like 30 to 50 years ago. And the second thing that I would like to ask you to do is to think about climate or weather now. Within a couple of years, how is it changing? Do you notice any changes or extreme weather events? For example, when we had very extreme cold winters a couple of years ago, this is also an impact of climate change. So yes, these two tasks. And yeah, for the next video, we would learn more about land use and negative impacts on environment. And I will see you next time.